Yeah, because the Carthaginian Empire or the Phoenician Empire was a real big threat to the Romans. And yeah, so I thought it would be interesting to state some facts about them, I guess. Yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it and start this video off with fact number 1. The Greek used to call them Phoenicians, which basically is Phoenicians. The Romans, however, couldn't pronounce the oi, the Greek oi, so they called them Puni, which causes some confusion about the name of the Phoenician people, because everybody knows the Punic Wars, but those are actually just the Roman wars with the Phoenician people. And now you know why sometimes they are called Phoenicians and sometimes they are called Puni. And the Phoenicians themselves, the Phoenicians called themselves, and I don't think I'm pronouncing this right, but they called themselves Kni. So K-N apostrophe N-Y. Anyways, moving on to fact number 2. The name Phoenicians, the Greek gave them, came from their number 1 trade material. This was a dark red purple color. It's called porphyra, and it was made out of sea snails. And yeah, because this was called porphyra, I guess in Greek a derivative derived from porphyra, they came towards Phoenicians, which was Phoenicians. Fact number 3. The Phoenicians originally lived in cities in the Middle East, on a Mediterranean seashore in present-day Lebanon. They obtained a monopoly on the trade between Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. So they became very rich and wealthy, and everybody knows when you're rich and wealthy, you become powerful, I guess. So yeah, fact number 4. They founded new cities all across the Mediterranean shores. One of the most famous cities was Carthage, which became the biggest and most important Phoenician city. Which brings me to fact number 5. Inside Carthage harbor, protected by very thick walls, the Phoenician fleet was garrisoned. The trade ships, however, made port outside of the harbor. This was to make the trade ships easily accessible for trade, I guess. And yeah, the Phoenician fleet being garrisoned inside thick walls was probably to avoid sabotage or their ships being damaged whilst they were under siege. Or yeah, probably there are a lot of other reasons as well. Just protection, I guess. Anyways, fact number 6. A rather darker fact. The Phoenicians sacrificed their children to please the god Baal. This only happened in extreme situations such as the plague or wartime. And also one thing to note about these sacrifices is that they only sacrificed children from the upper class, because the Phoenicians only saw the kids of rich people fit to please the god Baal. Lower class because children would not be enough or sufficient to please the god, I guess. But yeah, and you also have like around 310 BC, in a war with the Sicilians, the Phoenicians sacrificed 500 children of the upper class on fire stakes. And I read something about that they discovered a lot of urns with the ashes of children, Phoenician children that were sacrifices, and in some of these urns, instead of children's ashes, they found ashes of goats and other livestock, and presumably these families kind of tricked the other people in thinking they sacrificed one of their children, but actually they sacrificed a goat or something like that, probably because they didn't want to sacrifice their children, obviously. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Which brings me to fact number 7, and this one is a kind of like important one. The Phoenicians founded the alphabet. The Phoenician alphabet contained 22 consonants and 2 vowels already, and it was a huge improvement upon the Egyptian hieroglyphs. As a matter of fact, the Phoenicians first started using their alphabet in the mines on the Sinai Peninsula, I think, and it was used by mine workers, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, later on, throughout their existence, the Phoenicians, they perfected this alphabet, and then the Greek copied it. They copied the alphabet, and the Romans got heavily inspired by the Phoenician alphabet. So basically, so the Latin alphabet is inspired by the Phoenician alphabet. So basically, like, the alphabet that we use today kind of finds its origins in, the Phoenician culture, which is kind of interesting in my opinion. Which brings me to fact number 8. When we talk about the Phoenicians, we, as I've already said in previous fact, we often confuse the names with the Puni, but they're actually the same. So, anyways, fact number 8, there were 3 Punic Wars, and I'm sure you've seen them in high school, I think. The first Punic War was 264 up until 241 BC, and obviously the Punic Wars were wars between the Romans and Carthage, or the Romans and the Phoenicians. The Romans conquered in the first Punic War. They conquered Sicily from Carthage, from the Phoenicians, and later the Romans also conquered Corsica, which is an island, and Sardinia. Which brings me to fact number 9. The Second Punic War, which lasted from 218 up until 201 BC. This was the war where Hannibal crossed the Alps. So, this is the most famous one, I guess. And after a 17-year war of exhaustion, Hannibal lost the battle for Italy, and the Phoenicians were heavily punished because of this. They owed Rome a lot of money. They had to give all their warships to Rome, and all their African lands, aside from Carthage. They could keep Carthage, but they were not allowed to engage in war without the permission of Rome, which we'll get back to later in this video. Anyways, fact number 10, I guess. Yes, 10. We are getting a bit more specific fact was Phoenician general. At a young age, he became responsible over the new capital called Nova Carthago, which was the eastern side of Spain, if I'm not mistaken. Moving on to fact number 11. When he was young, Hannibal told his dad apparently that one day he would be, I'm sorry for the motorbike, that one day he would be an ally of Rome. However, in his adult years, he looked for many reasons to attack Rome. So yeah, that turned out differently, I guess. Fact number 12. He got his first chance to attack Rome when the Romans made a pact with the city of Sagunto in eastern Spain. This city was a part of Spain which was controlled by the Phoenicians, and therefore, Hannibal got his reason to attack Rome, which he wanted for already a long time. Which brings me to fact number 13. In 218 BC, he besieged Sagunto. After 8 months of besieging the settlement, he captured it, and shortly after, he invaded the Roman lands with a massive force. Which brings me to fact number... fact number 14, I guess, yeah. I messed up with the numbering of the facts. That's why I'm a little bit confused. Anyways, Hannibal took 37 elephants with him to invade the Roman territories. The beasts were used to trample prisoners and to torture them, and also they were pretty useful to break enemy lines because, they're elephants. They also induced a lot of fear and terror in the enemy's ranks, which is also kind of logical if you're face to face with an elephant. But, however, the Alps killed all of them, and that's really unfortunate for Hannibal because this was a vital weapon. These animals were a vital weapon for him. Only one survived the crossing of the Alps, and that one was called Cyrus, which was the personal elephant of Hannibal himself. I read that the elephants died because of pneumonia. Apparently the air in the mountains isn't good for the pressure in the lungs of the beasts because of the altitude, which kind of led to 36 elephants dying. I mean, some of them also died in battle, but most of them died in the Alps. Anyways, since this was fact 13 or 14, I'm sorry if I messed up the numbering. This brings me to fact number 15, which brings me to the Third Punic War that lasted from 149 up until 146 BC. And now we're continuing from the previous fact where I stated there was a treaty after the Second Punic War that stated that Carthage could not start a war without the permission of Rome. However, the Third Punic War saw its cause because of the breaking of that treaty. The Carthaginians were forced to break the treaty because they were under numerous attacks of the Numidians. At first they let them attack them, but after a while they couldn't resist it anymore, and they had to counter the attacks of the Numidians, which they did. But obviously the Romans, they saw this as a breaking of the treaty, which in fact it was, and the Romans they demanded the Phoenicians to relocate their city further land inwards. This would in turn result in the city being less accessible for trade. So the Phoenicians didn't want to do this. Upon that, the Romans decided to besiege the city of Carthage. And let me see what I wrote down. Which brings me to fact number 16. And that's the last fact, I guess. After 3 years of besieging, the Romans invaded the city of Carthage. Upon 50,000 people who survived the besieging surrendered to the Romans, and the Romans burned down the city and with it an entire culture. Also, they covered the city with the fields around the city with salt to make them infertile, not less fertile, but actually infertile, which resulted in the Phoenicians not being able to rebuild the city either, and probably led towards the starvation of the people who were located in the fields, who lived from the fields around the city. Anyways, these were 60 facts, and I'm really sorry if I messed up the numbering of the facts. I started writing these facts based on an article I was reading, and I don't know, I'm kind of clumsy, so I messed up the numbering of the facts because I thought like certain facts would be more logical in a certain order than I originally had them, which is why I had to change the numbering of the facts, and which is why sometimes I may have made a mistake about the numbering, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I also hope you subscribe to the channel if you want, because that's always very nice. I'm trying to do another video this Sunday or Monday,